right, welcome back. We're live. Welcome back to episode 240 of the God and Gun podcast. I'm your host Troy.
And I'm your other host, Doug.
We use this podcast to talk about God, guns, and the responsible Christian gun owners' interests. On this week's show, we'll be talking about red flag laws of communism. What do you think, Doug?
Oh, we're going to have fun with this one tonight, I'm afraid.
Bandwidth sponsors Farmers Radio Network. We appreciate the guys and gal. Well, there's a couple gals over there. Well, we're all part of it, but we appreciate them sponsoring our show content and putting it out there so you guys can download it at your leisure. And if you've not checked out other shows on the Farmers Radio Network, please do. I encourage you to check out Reloading Podcast. Our buddies over there, good Christian fillers.
Yep.
Lots of other guys and gals over there. Some of them are a little bit more risque than we are.
You and I were actually watching one the other night at the same time.
Yeah, I forgot which one it was. There's something about competition shooting.
Yep, it was pretty good.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. Let's see.
Crossbreed holsters. How about them?
Yeah, crossbreed holsters. Tell me about crossbreed holster.
So if you guys are carrying in your vehicle, got one in your pocketbook, got a gun laying next to your bed, or just carrying on your person, Crossbreed makes a holster for you. They can hook you up with pretty much any holster for any gun that's out there. So most comfortable holsters, you've heard Troy and I talk about it. You will not be disappointed. Go check our buddies out at crossbreedholsters.com. Carry the cross.
Carry the cross. What was your guiding gun activities this week, Doug?
Well, let's see. I did a little bit this weekend. Of course, on the God side, I've been doing my Sportsman's Daily Devotional every day and church on Sunday. And hey, I wound up at church Sunday all by my little lonesome. Everybody was puny and sick around here over the weekend. So, hey, I just went by myself. And it was a good service. Had a good time. And I saved a little money because we didn't go out to eat after church on Sunday. So stayed with the diet thing. So there you go.
Good deal.
Let's see, the gun side. Of course, everyday carry, been doing that. Hey, man, looking forward to the Bulwarks class. Not this weekend, but next weekend. We're going to be up at Red Hill Range in Martin, Georgia. I did get the opportunity to talk to Jesse a little bit yesterday, and he sent me some stuff. And we may have a little bit of a surprise coming for you guys in the near future. Probably next weekend. I think Jesse's going to be on the show with us next weekend. So that's going to be cool. Went to Perry, Georgia over the weekend to the Buckarama, which is an outdoor show they do every year, getting ready for hunting season. It's put on by Georgia Outdoors, and they got a bunch of vendors come in. And I actually bought something that I did the video on it the other day, my AR mag loader. And this is the coolest little thing. I know you got something like this, don't you, Troy?
I got the mag pump. That's what I got.
You got the mag pump. So I did a little video show everybody how this thing works, and you put your mag in the top of it and just load up the little hopper on it, and slide them right in. So I saw it was $25, man. You couldn't beat it for $25. Lifetime warranty on it. They said there was a no questions guarantee on it. If you tear it up, run over it, shoot it, catches fire in a house and burns, send it back to them. No questions asked. They'll send you a brand new one. So you probably pay just as much in postage shipping as you would for a brand new one. But hey, for that kind of warranty, you can't beat it. So I picked up one, and it worked. I posted that video the other day. It was so funny. I thought I would get a lot of comments about it, but everybody was more impressed with my T-shirt that I had on in the video, which was the Bible verse that had a picture of an AR on it. It said, Jesus said, if you don't have, well, it's not what Jesus said, but translated to modern day. And Jesus said, if you don't have an AR rifle, sell your coat and go get one.
The modern American version.
Yeah, the modern American version. That's right. And I cannot remember who was commenting with me. One of our buddies actually went out and found the T-shirt. He said, "Hey, you guys need to sell these on the God and Guns channel." I was like, "Hey, we might have to," but I thought it was pretty cool. But everybody liked that for some reason. So
Yeah.
anyway, what else did I do? Yesterday I helped my son-in-law tried to help him sight in a crossbow that he had bought. Um, had a little scope on it. Up and down worked fine. I could do the elevation on it, but I was shooting to the left, and I wanted to crank it back over to the right. And I cranked and cranked and cranked on that thing, and it would never move over. The crosshair would never move. So I told him, I said, "You've got to get another one because I done cranked it. I was at 20 yards. We were shooting at 20 yards, and I was probably, I don't know, about that far over to the left, and I bet I cranked that thing 100 clicks on the dial
Hmm.
of after all the way over, and it just would not move. So I laid it up and had it braced up, and I got it zeroed on the target. And I told Matt, I said, go ahead and start turning. Let me see if I can actually see the crosshair move. And he's cranking on it, twisting, 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 and it never budged. I was like, time for a new scope. I guess that's why you got a good deal on it. So you put a crossbow scope on for about $30, so no big deal. So he's going to do that, and he'll be back in business. Let's
Good
see.
deal.
Oh, and just so I cover it, happy birthday to my wife yesterday. Yesterday was Wendy's birthday, and we had all the children over yesterday for a birthday party, and it went good. She had a good. I think she had a good time. She took off with her aunt today, and they went down to McRae, Georgia, antique shopping, and she didn't come home with no antiques, so it was a good day for me too.
Well, good deal. They got your
That was
gun and guns?
it. Does that was it for me? What you been up to?
Well, I see my video quality is dropping out here. Let's see. Non optimal. All right. So on the God side, at church security Sunday, we had, it wasn't my day, but one of the guy was supposed to be on got violently sick on Saturday and said, "Hey, man, I'm puking and other things and got a fever. I'm not going to be there most likely." So I covered Sunday, and Krista was not feeling the best, and Audrey wasn't feeling the best, so they were both home puny. Daphne worked unusual shift. They were training her in other departments or other parts of Amazon up there, so she didn't feel like going to church. She got home about an hour and a half before I left for church and crashed. So it was just me and Gunner, and so Gunner served. He went into service, but then after church and small group, he served in the Sunday school office for his mom because she wasn't there, and I put him on the security team. I figure he's as qualified as anybody else we've got out there. He's
Probably.
got he's got a black belt for 5 years, and he's been to more gun training than all the rest of my security team combined. And he's been to more medical training, so
I'd
he's
say he's
probably yeah he's more qualified, and he's not afraid to confront people. So uh, that's a good skill to have in an 18-year-old boy.
yes, it is.
So, but other than that, we went and ate lunch, and some of our friends came over and joined us after church, and ate lunch with us, and uh, it was a good time. And then just been taking care of the family a lot this week. Been running parents to the doctors all over the state, and that's been fun as usual.
Isn't that always?
On the guns,
Isn't that always a blast?
yeah, yeah. There's nothing better than sitting in doctor's offices. Those little bitty chairs for little bitty people
I know, right?
that
For those,
aren't wearing guns at the 3 o'clock position.
I was just saying for those guys that don't carry.
Yeah. If I didn't have a holster on you, I could drop right down there. But when you got a holster on you, sort of got to east, this way, then this way.
Yeah, you sit down at an angle and slide in.
Yeah, you sort of got to come in at an angle, sort of swoop, and then I got the flashlight on the left side, and so I have to remember to move my flashlight before I go in there, because then people are like, "What's he doing with the flashlight? Why is he getting in the chair all weird?" And you get out,
Dark.
the chair comes with you because it's anchored on both sides. So you got to ease yourself back out of this chair. And Dad's is fun because he's got one of those little hover rounds, and so I gotta like clear out, make sure you don't run over people's feet, and it doesn't take out stuff as it goes.
He got a little
Yeah.
rascal, does he?
It's a hover round. They like do a little 360. He used to have a rascal. I think we still got it in the garage, but it rolls up onto a little ramp in the back of his van. It comes out, the little shuttle comes out the back of the van, drops down, and drives up on it, and then it raises up and goes inside the van, and the door closes. So it's always an event getting out and doing that, but it's fun. It's all right. We got 2 new calves this week, 2 steers. Well, they were bulls when I picked them up, and then they were steers by the time they got home. We stopped at the vet. We stopped at the vet on the way home.
You don't do it yourself yet?
Nah. Man, $26 to do both of them, worm them and check them out. It's like $13 a piece. Yeah, I'll let some other guy stick his hand up in their groin and while they're trying to kick you, put that band on. Make sure you get both of those jewels down there where they need to be at so they don't get caught. He's
Dude,
a pro, man.
I ain't ever been kicked so hard in my life as when we used to band calves and burn the horn off.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, put that little thing around the top of them little Holstein's horns and burn them. Ooh, Micah always used to make me hold them on the other end, while he burned them. And I was like,
He's ever laughing the whole time. Yeah, I used to hold the pigs down when we cut them. I had somebody calling me here from the United States. I believe that.
The United States.
The United States, yeah. The United States, see.
Hey, maybe it's Trump. Oh, it's a lot of zeros.
Yeah, it's extra zeros and stuff, yeah. Let's
Maybe
see.
the president's watching the show tonight.
Yeah, I doubt it. I missed call. So, yeah, I remember we used to castrate our own pigs. My job was to catch them by the back legs, flip them over, put a knee in each one of their inside each of their legs, and hold them, pin them down, and then watch for Mama Pig trying to jump over the walls and bust through the stall from the other side.
Mm-hmm.
And Dad would take the sharp scalpel and whip around and I'd pull them up there and cut them off. And we always had a big pack of dogs outside waiting to catch the free prize. Mountain oysters, or you call them.
That's it.
But we used to do a lot of pigs when I was a kid. We'd have 3 litters a year, and Trevor and I had a sow each, and we had a boar. But that was our time. That was probably the most strenuous part of pig raising, was castrating them and trying to get them back after they broke through the fences and get into neighbor's property or something like that.
Take the pliers at the same time. Cutters.
Yeah. No, but for $13 a piece, I'll let somebody else break their arm trying to stick their hand up in there while they're kicking the backstop and stuff, and urinating all down your arm and defecating all over your shoulder, and yeah, that's not a problem at all.
Big fun.
Yeah, I could feel it when that calf was kicking that guy's arm. I was like, ew. That's that bone jarring kind of stuff you don't want to happen. He didn't seem to mind it as much as I would have. I'm still trying to figure out how to switch where you can be seen. It's aggravating. I'm trying, because I know everybody doesn't want to see my ugly mug every bit of it.
Hey, we always said I got a face for radio.
Yeah, I do too. That's why I'm trying to take it off of here. So I'm not up front all the time. All right, I can't see the comments. I hope you guys are
Yeah, I'm
texting.
looking at
Okay, I've got to get back to my notes because I don't even know where I'm at now. Let's see. Oh, we're talking about pigs and cows. I think that was about most of my gun. I mean, I carry a gun today. I was carrying. I had to go to downtown Louisville, and I was wearing this proper, real thin, cool shirt because it's real muggy and hot here in Kentucky right now, and
it.
it prints badly with the Glock 30. So I wore the XDS, and then I put a Glock 26, a baby Glock, in my pocket. And so that was my concealed carry for today downtown and doctor's offices because that that XDS, that Springfield XDS, is real thin and I can get down those doctor's chairs without any problem with it. And I put it about four, maybe closer to 4, 5 o'clock, somewhere in that range. But I know I'm going to be sitting in a lot of chairs and it helps not to print as much.
Have you
And
tried one of the? Have you shot one of the Glock 48 yet?
the 48s.
Mm-hmm.
No, is that the long? Is that the 17 mag with the 19 top?
No, that's the 19X. The 48 is a single stack. It's like the 43, little single stack 9mm, but it's actually got the silver slide on it,
Oh,
and it's about the same size as the 19, but in a lot smaller frame.
oh, that's a 43 then, just a different slide.
It's kind of like the 43. It's a little bigger than a 43 though.
How many rounds is it hold?
Uh, 10. I want to say 10.
Huh.
10 on
Sounds
9mm.
like a 43.
It's weird looking at that silver slide on it though. You're just not used to seeing a Glock with anything other than
High
just
tone look to it.
yeah, got the bitone look.
Yeah. The it's trying to switch cameras here on me while we're doing this. I don't know what's doing. There's lots of things popping up while I'm talking to you on the control side here, and so I'm not used to all these little pop-ups coming up and changing things. So I apologize for you guys listening because you're like, what the heck is he talking about? I'm using OBS and I'm running that through Jitsi, and then Jitsi's running into YouTube, and then it's broadcasting over on Facebook. We think, or somewhere.
Is it broadcasting Facebook too?
I think that if you click on it, it'll play on Facebook, but I can't do that from here. But I was trying to run Jitsi straight to Facebook, but I don't know how to do that yet. That's just like toggling the window. I think only way I can do that is if like I disappear, like if I turn my screen share off. See, I think you show up then. Is that right? You guys comment.
I'm watching on the YouTube side, so I can watch comments and stuff, and I'm not seeing it switch yet.
Okay.
Of course, it drags a little bit over there.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a lag over. It's going through
Yeah.
3 different loops, the loopy loops. On mine, it's frozen. I'm like a frozen thing. I can see myself talking.
Okay, it just switched, and you're in the center with your black and white picture. Oh no, there I am.
Okay, now you're there. Okay. Well, people can look at you for a little while.
Ah,
So
no,
the 43, I have shot the 43, that lower. It sounds like maybe the lower for the. Yeah, that's weird. That's an old picture there. I don't know where you found that picture at.
hey, but it's actually switching now. When I'm talking, it switches to me, and when you're talking, it switches to your picture.
Okay.
So it doesn't have a live feed for you, but
Yeah, see, I can put the camera on, but it's not the right camera. It's the camera for something else. Let's see if I can switch that camera.
so I'm looking.
That's a green screen camera.
Yeah, that's just got the green background, no God and guns.
Yeah. And then the other is it's an aggravating thing. Okay.
You can
I'm
stay
back.
there. So I'm looking at the Facebook comments, and Gustavo's on here with us. He said the 48 is my daily carry gun. Love that thing. And Shield Arms will be putting out some 15 round flush mags for it.
Cool.
And also, Nathan said, I believe Glock came out with a 43X, which they did. That's a 43 with extended mag on it, I think. And also in 48 with the black slide earlier.
Hmm.
And Gustavo said he had his slide Cerakoted in burnt bronze. I bet
It's like
that's neat.
my video is locked up.
Oh, from switching.
I don't know. It just locks up every once in a while. Exit. I'm still here. I think you probably can hear me, but my video feed's gone.
Yeah, I can hear you. It's showing your picture.
Uh, this is aggravating. Let's
Will said
see.
it's not switching.
I've got to change and change and change. See if it's gonna work
Hey, we're
now.
just not used to it. Now you're back with the God and Guns logo in the background.
Okay, I'm back. Why can't they just leave things alone?
I know.
It's hard enough for us old guys to learn something, and then they gotta go change it every 2 or 3 weeks. Okay, I guess it gives younger people a job opportunities. We need to hire us somebody that knows what they're doing here. All right, where was that? So we cutting pigs. We did that. We calves. I've got to build a corral so I can get these calves up. So that's the next project I got to work on. It has nothing at all to do with my gun activity. It's just my daily activity. Um, Trying to think of anything else. People are texting me while I'm doing the show live. What is wrong with you people? You know I'm on the show. Quit texting me. All right. So let's get back to the show so we won't be doing this all night long. People will be like, let's get on to the meat. All right. EDC. I sort of talked about my EDC. You want to talk about your EDC?
I certainly can. Everybody knows I got the Glock 19 with, I have the night vision sights on it that are sponsored by the student of the gun, the Paul Markle sights. So they work really well, man. I can't wait to get up to this Bulwarks class next week and do some shooting. Jesse he actually called me and talked to me yesterday, and he had emailed me a new updated. I haven't seen Steve on here yet, so I don't know if he's on or not, but he gave me an updated thing. We need to bring like 350 rounds of AR with us, or whatever rifle you're shooting, but 350 rounds of that and 50 rounds, excuse me, of pistol ammo.
Make sure you, whatever barrel you got, if it's a 223, you got 223. If it's a 5.56, you got 5.56. I think you can shoot 223 and 5.56.
Yeah, I can shoot either
I
or.
think it's the other way around. Or if you got the 223 Wild, which I've got on my Falcor, it shoots either one.
It's well, mine's not wild. Mine's not the wild, but it's got the it'll shoot 223 or 5.56. There's one of them that's going. I don't know if you can see that or not. My camera's kind of my picture.
If you got spare spring kit or parts kit, you might want to take that with you too.
Oh yeah, well, I'm going to take a whole other AR with me too.
Yeah, I'm just saying that if it's something simple like a spring for your dust cover or spring for uh, you know, pins and stuff like that, spare pins, and make sure you got got Loctite on all your sights so they don't back out when you start shooting a couple hundred rounds in high heat. You're sweating on it and all that stuff. That's when stuff starts coming apart.
Hopefully I put them together good, except the axles, and it was hopefully Jeff put that one together good.
You still plan on running a full-on scope on it?
Yeah, well, it's not. It's the I got the Vortex Viper on the Palmetto, and it's a 1x4, and Jesse said that would be fine. But I guess most they're going to shoot is what, 25 yards is the top.
It's further than that, I think.
He said you'll start out at like 5 yards, 10 yards, or something shooting.
You start out close, but the offset, so you got to know that when you're shooting somebody, 5-10 feet away, that offset's big. So your point of
Mm-hmm.
aim's got to be really adjusted for it. So it's teaching you shooting at different offsets as you move back and you move forward, shooting on the move, shooting around obstacles without sticking your body out where you get shot. So
See, I'm debating on whether or not if I need to re-sight my rifles in and sight them in at like 50 yards or something, and go from there. Or right now they're sighted in at 100, so at
yeah,
25 yards I shouldn't be too far off at 25 yards.
Paul always said sight them at 50 meters, and then you're
Mm-hmm.
good out to 200 meters. So
Right.
so if you sight at 50 meters, that's at the apex, it's at the beginning, and then it's within like 2 inches all the way out to 200 meters. And
Mm-hmm.
so you sight him in there. Now, if you're a hunter, you're used to sighting in at 100 yards or whatever.
Right.
So, if you're using a range finder or whatever, but for defensive carbine, you're looking at something 0 to 200 or 300 yards kind of thing. When you zero a red dot at 50, I think it's 50. Was it 55 meters, 52 meters, something like that? 50 meters that you're good out to about 300 yards on a man-sized target.
Right.
So I feel like I'm too close to the camera. Feels like it's right in my face.
So
Okay,
hopefully I'll be dialed in. What was your score in the class? You got like a 92 or something?
92.
92.
I'm gonna bring this cannon.
Oh, that thing is so cool.
Yeah, it looks like something from Star Wars and a laser blaster or something.
Wait, what kind of scope you got on that?
It's a vortex something.
That's a nice scope on a cannon.
I just stuck it on there because I took it off of something else, so it wouldn't get. I just put it in the safe. It's a crossfire.
It's crossfire.
Crossfire 2.
Yep.
1 to 4.
Those
Yeah,
nice,
1 to
those
4.
nice little scopes.
Yeah. I picked up somewhere out in Montana, somewhere cheap. They had it on clearance. It was real cheap. It was like $100 off what it normally was, or whatever. So I want the HD. Was it the Viper HD? But it's like $1,800 or something. So I ain't buying that anytime soon. All right, where were we at? Feedback. You got feedback. Excuse me.
Feedback. Let's see. I do got feedback. I'm switching over here. So let's see. This comes from our buddy Chuck. So he had sent it to me. He said, "Hey guys, I wasn't sure if you had considered getting set up on Subscribe Star as an alternative to Patreon, but wanted to mention it. Another podcast that I listened to moved from Patreon to them, and it seems like very gun friendly platform. He gives us the link to subscribestar.com. He said, I want to continue to support the show. So I wanted to suggest that you consider this option. If not, I would like to send checks in the mail if that's what is needed. I hope you both are doing well. God bless. Chuck.
Yeah, I'm not avoiding you, Chuck. You sent me a previous email too. We appreciate you guys wanting to support us. I don't know. We got to figure out some way of doing that. People didn't believe me when I said Patreon booted us, but they booted us. They said they didn't want. We were violating their policies, and I was like, "What policy did I violate? You need to change your policy. You need to change the way you do your show." I'm like, I was giving away free stuff to people who support our show. You can't do that.
We can do
Okay.
whatever we want. It's our show.
Yeah, and so at that point, I'm like, you don't own me. You don't get to tell me what to do. I appreciate you guys sending us money, but if they're going to be jerks, and they can do without our money, as far as the way I'm concerned,
Hey,
y'all's money.
I tell you another one, man. I do a friend of mine has does the gun raffles, and he was taking PayPal for payment. People just they want to get in. They send him their $25, $30, whatever the raffle ticket was, and rock on. And some way, PayPal cut him off and would not allow him to do it anymore.
Yeah, YouTube has done that. Facebook has done it. There was a guy who was doing raffles for military charity. There was people donating different products, and so he would put up a raffle, and the money and the proceeds are going towards this charity. And they shut him down because it was guns and you know gun gear and stuff like that. And they shut him down, kicked him off. He ended up going to MeWe, I think. I think he's over on MeWe now. And it's a charity. It wasn't like the dude was pocketing the money. He was getting donations from different gun companies, different things, and he was auctioning off, and the proceeds went towards those charities. It's just crazy.
Nathan's listening over to us. He said he believed the Gun Collective just got booted from Patreon also.
Well, they removed themselves from Patreon. They moved to Subscribe Star too, or something like that. John mentioned that whenever I said, I got booted. He's like, well, how'd that happen? Some of the other guys over on like We Like Shooting stuff like, well, they haven't booted us. Like, give them time.
Yeah,
They found us probably because we had got in guns. The guys on
there's 2 strikes already.
So we were our days were numbered. We knew it. So, but God's our provider. We don't have to rely on Patreon or whatever. If we ever disappear off all the platforms, Doug's going to finally fix a website. You'll just have to come there. We'll figure out a way to do it live on our website. And if they won't let us do it in the States, we'll go get us a server over in Europe somewhere, in Switzerland or something. And that way you guys can still find us. I guess that's until Google cracks down with the Chinese program that sees what everybody's doing all the time and shuts all of y'all down, us down, and makes us all slaves to whatever.
Hey, I'm gonna go and tell you, if you don't believe that they got algorithms out there that monitor everything you do and look at,
Oh yeah,
you're wrong. Because I was looking for mag pouches for um, my plate carrier the other day, and I was just on the internet. I was not on Facebook, and then I went over to Facebook to just open it up to look at it. And when I opened it up, the first thing that came up was advertisements for mag pouches and plate carriers.
yep,
Was what was on there. I was like, man, all you got to do nowadays just about is think about looking at something, and it'll pop up for you.
yeah. You don't have to even think. Oh, you just have to speak it. Me and my wife were speaking about something, and all of a sudden, we open up her phone, look at something, it pops up the same thing we were talking about. I think it was going to Florida or going on a trip somewhere. Deals on trips to Florida pops up on the thing. We weren't texting that. We weren't typing that in. It was listening to our conversation on the microphone. And it's happened like 5 times with us. We'll be talking about something, and we'll pick up our phone to do something, and an ad will pop up on Facebook or ad will pop up on whatever search engine we're using. They'll pop up with flights to whatever, or get your rooms here, or get this product here. And it's just like, okay, so they're listening on our microphone as we speak. So don't say anything that you don't want, recorded for all the time.
Dude, that's like a bunch of my friends have those Alexas or whatever it is, and they're like, "Man, you already get one. It helps out with everything." I'm like, I don't want one. First of all, because they're listening to everything you're doing through that stupid thing.
Yeah.
I'm a computer guy by trade. That's what I do for a job. When I get home, I am so unplugged from that stuff, other than just looking at my phone every once in a while and looking for duck outfitters and hunts and stuff.
Or answering texts from all your family.
Or
Friends.
from the family. I just don't have time to be playing with no Alexa. I got guys I work with that are so geeked up. They can unlock their front door from their phone. I'm like, dude, that's gonna get you one day. I'm telling you, it's gonna come back and bite you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I got it encrypted. They can't break into that. Okay, all right.
Nathan said we need to go old school, start sending out cassettes of the shows.
Throw it out on some 8-track.
We do need to set up a email list so that if we do go somewhere, we can tell you where we went to.
Mm-hmm.
We do need that. We don't have that on any of our platforms. So,
I started
uh,
posting on Facebook that we moved, but they'll be the first ones to shut us down.
yeah, probably. I've been shadow banned on Twitter. I know I've got, I don't know how many over there. I was like hammering away over there and had a bunch of new followers. And all of a sudden, boom, none of my comments get any likes. None of my comments get any replies or negative or positive. Man, I'm just like in a hole. So I'm
It,
not seen.
it's crazy. I stay in Facebook jail more than I stay out usually. I'm like a 3-time offender, so my next one I'll probably be banned forever.
Yeah, it's gonna get there sooner. Probably closer we get to election, more of us will start disappearing. So yeah, we do need to get a mailing list, email list, so we can keep in touch with you guys.
Hmm.
And I don't know, is that something you can put on Facebook to gather email address? Of course, if you give it to Facebook, they'll use it for marketing.
Yeah.
Of course, they already got your email address if you're on Facebook anyway. My Blazers tells cassette. I don't have a way of recording to cassette. We might send out thumb drives or something.
There we go.
We'll do a month of recording and ship it out once a month.
Hey, well, that's one thing I do actually do. I got all my gun serial numbers and stuff recorded on a
Hmm.
thumb drive in the safe. So if
Yeah,
I ever lose, I can just go pull that thumb drive.
unless they take the safe, then they got it all.
Huh?
Unless they take the safe, then they got it all.
Well, yeah, they they'd be a little hard pressed to pull that one out, but I mean they could probably get it,
Uh,
but you're gonna tear half the house down.
you get you a DeWalt 20 die grinder and some cut wheels, man. You can get right through a safe.
Yeah,
It's serious. I'm just telling you. Make sure
right.
you get enough insurance. I see them doing it on YouTube, man. They don't take a whole lot.
Oh, dude, when we moved into this house, I'm talking to USAA about a rider policy, and they're like, "Well, how many guns do you have?" I said, "Is there a limit?" They're like, "Well, no." I like, never mind. I just trust me. I just need some extra insurance on gunnage.
Yeah, I give my insurance agent a list of what I've got and update it. If you don't, they'll say, "Well, where do you come up with this list? This is the stuff you're making up." And so I take a picture and I've got the serial number and everything, and I take it to my insurance agent and say, "This is my list." I usually do it like once a year, but that way it's not more than 2 or 3 guns.
My thing is,
Different.
I don't want to give anybody a list of anything that I own as far as gun wise, because they're going to come back with that list one day and go, "All right, I need this one, this one, this one."
That was a list at that point in
Well,
time.
true.
Things change. You know, they might need a new car or something.
I know, right?
You can have that Roan 12 or Roan 10 that's in the bottom of the safe. It was my grandmother's 22 short pistol from Germany in 1930 something.
Uh,
That the cylinder wiggles and the barrel wiggles.
does it got a pearl white handle on it?
Uh huh.
I got two of those.
Yeah, this one it's just the cylinder. When you pull the hammer back, the cylinder doesn't lock up until it goes forward. He's like, I'm like, no, Grandma, you're not gonna carry that gun anymore.
Uh,
I'll take that $9 gun and I'll put it in a safe place for you. Let's give you this new Beretta 32 Tomcat. And she's like, okay. She's 94 now. She don't need me packing the gun anymore. She's she might shoot one of the people at the retirement center.
at the
All
home.
right, so, at the home. Uh, where were we at? We're way off track. We're just rambling. People are commenting. All right, feedback you done did. Chuck didn't have an iTunes review. You got a joke for us. Give us that joke.
I do got a joke. This comes to us from Andy White. Sent me this. Um, so I just want to read it. It was pretty good. A husband and a wife were at church. The preacher noticed that the husband was falling asleep and said to the wife, "Wake your husband up." The wife answered, "You're the one that made him fall asleep. You wake him up." And then Andy tells us, he said, keep up God's work. Great podcast. You, please, you wake him up.
You wake him up. Uh, I picked up a book this week. We're switching over into the Bible verses. Picked up a book this week, 40 Things to Teach Your Children Before You Die. It's a pretty good, it's a short book. I mean, it's really short. It's a little bit thin book with big words in it. You guys ought to pick it up for your kids. You guys that got kids and grandkids. It's a page chapter. I mean, it's 40 chapters, 40 days, and it's like one page, maybe 1.5 pages on some of the topics. But it has some good points, and I'm going to go through this with you guys over the next 40 shows or something. But it's good truth. It's good scripture, and it references scripture and it breaks it out in a pretty layman's term. But first verse is talking about if you want to you want to make sure your children know that to seek first the kingdom of God, and that comes from Matthew 6:33. Uh, but seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. Looks like I froze up again. You hear me?
I can hear you fine.
Yeah, my video froze again. Uh, it's trying to switch cameras again. I don't know what the deal is with this thing, but I disappeared it. I disappeared it again. I think it might be OBS.
Is that the one that's putting the God and Guns podcast behind you?
Yeah.
Hey, try going straight green screen for a minute and without putting the picture up.
It's OBS. It's messing up. I gotta exit out. I think
Your
OBS.
picture you got on there right now, you look like a biker dude.
That's back when I was about 430 pounds. I was shooting all the time on my lunch breaks. Went out and shot. Went out that day and it was like 20 degrees, and I was shooting at the long range at the bulwarks. Back then, the range was gosh, what was the name of that range? It's in Cave City. I'd go. It was like 5 miles from work. I drive over there for my hour lunch break, and I'd go shoot and eat a sandwich or something. Let me see. It's not letting me.
I wish I had a place to shoot that was that close to work. I'd go shoot every day.
All right. Yeah, I did for years, and then they sold off the long range, and I went over and shot at the 100-yard range and the pistol range. My radio is beeping like crazy over here. Now where was I at? I'm over here now. I gotta go back here. I gotta go there. And then I gotta go here. And then I gotta go here. And I gotta go there. All right, I'm back. I think. It only takes like 12 moves.
I see you on one side, but I don't see you on YouTube yet. I still see your Sons of Anarchy photo.
It's not showed up on Jitsi?
No, in Jitsi it is.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It just hadn't.
Yeah, there's a long lag there.
Laying over there, so it's going to be over in a minute.
Yeah, so back to Seek Ye First, the Kingdom of God. That was the King James version there. So, this world tells you we should be looking out for ourselves, right? What our desires are, number one, and that you seek your own happiness. Whatever makes you happy, that's what you should be doing. But the Bible doesn't teach that. The Bible teaches that you're not the center of the universe, but God is. And so, as a believer, we're created to do some things. We're created to, worship God, glorify God, point to God. So everything that we're blessed with, we point to God as a reason. Everything that we are excited, happy about, we're to give God the glory and honor and praise for that. And we're created to worship Him. We're created to worship the God of this universe. The Bible tells us that part of His glory is that He is the creator of everything. And, that we need to make sure that we're staying in the Word. Looks like I froze up again. So I don't know what's going on here, but it's getting really irritating that it keeps trying to bring in the. It keeps bringing that in, and that. I'm just gonna leave up my ugly picture. They can look at your pretty face. All right, so so we're not the center of the universe. Our desire is not what's supposed to be foremost. You know, we're to be make sure we put God in His rightful place as the leader of your life, and that God has a promise. So if we seek, seek the kingdom first, seek first what God's will is, seek first what we are to be doing according to the scriptures, that God has a promise for us. If we do that, we put God first and we don't put ourselves first, but we do what He asks us to do, to love God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. And then the second greatest one is to love your neighbor as yourself, right? Who's our neighbor? Everyone's our neighbor. Everybody that we have come in contact with is our neighbor. And so we're called to love them as God loved us and be that reflection, be that light, be those feet, those serving hands of God to everyone that you come in contact with. Show the love of God and tell them about Jesus. Tell them about the good news, the gospel, the good news of that we don't have to die with our sin, that we can be forgiven of our sin, that we have a way of being reunited with God by allowing Jesus to take that sin, accepting Him as Lord and Savior, accepting Him as the Son of God, and believing in Him and following Him. So the promise is that God says He will give you everything you need and add everything else that we would be seeking for. So, if you go and you seek after glory and you seek after treasure, you're going to end up with death, right? Everything leads to death except for seeking after God. So, nothing's going to satisfy you but God. Not enough. You can't have enough money. You can't have enough cars or enough guns or enough anything to bring you happiness. The only happiness you're going to have is when you are doing what God has called you to do and you're following God's commandments, and then you're in a relationship with God. You will find your true happiness. If you don't do that, you will always be looking for something to make you feel better, be it drugs or be it sex or be it things that will destroy your life, which those two will do a good job on. But when you delight yourself in the Lord, He will give you the desires of your heart. That comes from Psalms 37:4. And so when you seek after God first, God's going to give you your desires. If I went around and chasing my desires, I know people like that. I have some family members that have done that. They chased after what the world told them was happiness, and it has destroyed their bodies, it has destroyed their relationships, it has destroyed their family relationships, it has financially ruined them. And those who chose to seek after God, God has blessed them with good families, with good relationships, with good health, with good finances, and things like that. God is faithful to do what He says He will do. He fulfills His promises. So that's my encouragement to you guys on the Bible verses tonight, Matthew 6:33, and closed it out there with Psalms 37:4, that we are to first seek the kingdom of God, and then we'll come up with another one next week. You want to jump in there?
Always, always, yeah. I was gonna say, I always try to do the best that I can every day, be the best person that I can be every day. Um, when I used to teach Awana, when I was a commander, I used to teach my kids all the time during the the story time and stuff. I'd always give them illustrations of stuff and this and that. And I always tell them, you never know who God is going to put in your path that day. So it is up to you to try to be the best person you can, be courteous, be helpful. And, you're just like me. You've seen umpteen people that are willing to help you with anything you want to do if it benefits them later, or if they can hold it over your head, to use you at some point in time. They're willing to help you in return for something. I never go into it like that. And sometimes my wife's like, you're always just willing to do anything for anybody. A lot of people don't return a favor. I'm like, well, I don't do it for that. You know, if hopefully someday if I ever do need it, God's going to take care of me and bring those people to me and say, hey, you helped them out, so they're going to help you out now.
Mhm.
But you just never know who God's going to put in your path that day that needs an uplifting word or something. They always tell me at work every morning that I am just too cheerful at 7:30 in the morning. I'm like, well, first of all, I've been up for 3 hours, so you know, I've I've had time to get the meanness out, and I've got some coffee in me. But you know, I try. I'm a manager at where I work, so I have the ability to set somebody's day in motion from the time they get to work. If they come in and I'm all mean and hateful and just being ornery with them, the rest of their day, they're not going to have a good day. So I try to be the best that I possibly can be every day and be uplifting and cheerful and a happy kind of guy. Does it work every day? No. Some days I don't. Some days I don't get there. But for 99% of the time, I usually am. But like I said, like I told my kids, you never know who God's going to put in your path that day that may need something from you or just an uplifted word to help them out. So, you got to be on your good behavior.
Yeah. How that brings up what happened over the weekend. We were doing something, I forget what. But we got late and nobody had made dinner, and we were all hungry. And so I got on the phone and put in the Papa John's thing and found out where the deal of the week was and ordered it for everybody in the house. And it was like 45 minutes. I got this note that pizza was on its way. So I didn't think nothing about it. The kids was going to wait out front for it. I was working on something else, maybe on the back porch with a cigar. I don't know. But whatever the case was, uh, the kids like, Gunner's like, hey, man, where's that pizza at? I'm like, I don't know. I looked at the app and it said it was out for delivery like in half an hour. And so they should have already delivered it. And for whatever reason, the manager or something decided that our house was no longer able to be delivered to. And so they took it to the dollar store, and the driver didn't call us. And so it was like an hour 15. I called the store and said, hey, where's the pizza at? And he said, oh, my driver just called and said, you ain't there. I'm like, I ain't where? I said, he didn't show up. And he said, well, he's at the dollar store waiting for y'all. I said, well, why didn't he call us? I could have told him how to get here. He said, no, you got to go there. I'm like, why am I going to go there? Well, your address isn't in our system anymore. I'm like, I've been getting deliveries here for 3 years. And so I just blow up. I'm tired. I'm gripey. I haven't eaten anything. I'm grouchy. I've had a long, hot day. And this manager is giving me lip. I mean, he's supposed to be, doing what the customer wants. The dude had to drive 2 miles past my house to go where he went to, away from the store. I'm like, he's on the way. Just tell him to stop on the way back. No, you got to go there. And I said, I'm not ordering ever again here. Every time you guys are starting this, so every time a new manager comes in, y'all mess this whole thing up and start this mess. And I just hung up the phone on him. I go down there, and the driver called me while I was going down there. And I'm just like, I'm on my way. You should have brought to the house because you've had to drive an extra 4 miles round trip to go to where you went to. Well, I don't know why you didn't come to the house. And I was really snippy. I got there, and I was really hateful. And, I just grabbed the pizza, threw it in the car, and said, I ain't never ordering from you guys again. That's the end of that. And drove off. Well, Sunday afternoon or Monday morning, this is Monday morning, I got feeling bad about how I talked to that driver. He's like, man, I've been working a week. I'm sorry. I was like, whatever. And so I texted him. I said, all right, man, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have blown up on you Saturday night. That's not how I usually am. I apologize. Hope you can forgive me for being rude and hateful and bitter. And he texted me back today and said, "Hey man, it's all right. Everybody has a bad day." I was like, "Oh,
It's amazing how people can set your day into motion or
yeah,
just that's just like that manager, giving you flack. You know, it happens. People have a tendency. That's usually how I get fired up. If somebody starts with me and I'm trying to be very nice, and that they won't listen.
I'm usually the nice guy. I mean, I usually put up with lot of stuff. But man, I was just worn down, and I got to that point where that my nerves are just right there ready. And that dude struck that match on me, and I was like, a manager of a restaurant called me a mouth and man on the phone about not taking a pizza to the place where they've been delivering pizza to us for years. I mean, we lived across the street 10 years ago, and they brought pizzas there, no problem. We've been living here for 3 years. I've been bringing pizzas, it's no problem. This manager decides he ain't gonna deliver to our house, and that we gotta make up. We gotta fix the problem that they created.
And plus, he wanted you to go to the dollar store, which is
Yeah,
the stop and rob in Magnolia.
that's right. It's where everything gets robbed and cars stolen. We had cars stolen there. I don't know if I told you all about that. It's like, yeah, send me the crime zone, dude. But
That's what I call them. I call them stop and robs down here now.
they getting that bad, huh?
Oh man, if you own a dollar store in the state of Georgia, I don't know how much money can a dollar store actually take in.
Quite a bit, man. They sell a ton of cigarettes down here.
But maybe I don't know. Most people, I mean, yeah, I use plastic most of the time. They're going to get a handful of receipts and a few ones. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe they go in there and grab a couple cartons of cigarettes,
They, they're gonna mess up eventually.
get some Yoo-Hoos and whatever those things are, Red Bulls and some cigarettes and chewing gum. They're out there.
Yeah, I got
They don't sell any alcohol out here.
I got to get in the I got to look and see. I got into a conversation with somebody over the weekend talking about gun-free zones, and I'm kind of the philosophy of Ted Nugent. I've never been in a gun-free zone because if I was there, it really wasn't gun-free. Who was I talking to about that?
You said it on here a couple times.
I know, but I was talking to somebody. Somebody had messaged me and was talking to me about it. They're talking they couldn't carry somewhere or something. I'm like, well, in the state of Georgia, if you go in some place that says you're not allowed to carry, if they don't see it, well, they don't know it. First off, and second, if they do see it and ask you to leave, you just got to leave.
That's the way it is in Kentucky.
That's all there is to it. You just leave. But
unless it's a federal building, then you get in trouble, or a state courthouse, something like that.
Now, see, we can carry in there too. The only place we can't carry is in any office building in the state of Georgia. If you have to go through a metal detector to get in, you can't carry. But if you go into just a public building or something, like City Hall here in Warner Robins, you can walk in right there and be carrying, and it's perfectly legal.
Yeah. You can't carry in the courthouse when a court's in session, I think. You can carry into the offices. They have signs up, but I don't think there's a law against it in the offices. Well, at least I've never seen anything other than if there's a sign up, you're not supposed to. But it's not a. It's not a. It's a misdemeanor if you refuse to, I think.
Right. If you refuse to leave, then they can call the police after you.
Yeah, it's a misdemeanor. But they were getting ready. The Democrats had slipped in a bill trying to change that so that if you went into any kind of business that had it and you got caught with it, it would be a felony, and you would go serve time and lose your guns and your right to guns. They were, man, I tell you, these local Democrats here in Kentucky, they are a bunch of vipers.
Oh, speaking of Democrats, man, did you see the latest one? That Chuck Schumer, as soon as they come back into the Senate and stuff after their little vacation break they've been on.
They were over to Europe or something, didn't they?
Yeah, I don't know.
Islands or somewhere.
They gone somewhere.
They vacation with the rich and famous,
Right. Chuck Schumer wants to propose a bill to outlaw body armor for everybody other than the police.
Mm-hmm. Body armor sales went through the roof right after he said that.
Oh, I know.
What was it? AR 500 has sales like 50% off of the two of the different models. So,
yeah, I'm fixing to buy some plates.
You can get plates with your rig.
No, I just bought the rig at the time. I should have waited because then they just came out like, well, they got the 7 year anniversary going right now,
Yeah,
and you get like 27% off. But they got the exact rig that I bought for the chest rig with the curved plates for front and back, and it was like $199. I think I paid right at $100 for just my carrier.
yeah. Well, you can just buy and the plates are still like 27% off too. I mean, they're
Mm-hmm.
pretty cheap. I bought the whole new rig. I'm gonna give Gunner my current rig, and I bought the bigger one. What was the bigger one?
Tostito.
Tostito. Yeah,
That's the one I have.
yeah. I bought it. I mean, the other one fits. I can put it on, but it seems a little high. Seems a little bit high up. So, of course, it's supposed to be right underneath the chin anyway, protect your vitals. But it seems like it needs more down at the bottom. I'm real tall from the waist up, so
Right.
this was supposed to fit better.
That's like I
I'm
don't know.
taller from the waist up than I am from the waist down.
That's like I don't know if you saw it or not. This morning, I think it was in Los Angeles. Somebody, a sniper shot a cop walking out to his police car this morning, and he was just fixing to take his chest rig off when a guy shot him,
Mm.
and the plate caught the majority of it. I think he caught a little bit of shrapnel in the shoulder, but he's expected to be okay. But you know, it's ridiculous that you can't protect yourself.
Oh, you can. It's a natural right. Arms includes defensive materials. Arms is defined as to include a shield, to include the ability to have armor. Chainmail was part of arms back in the time with swords and stuff like that. So it's in the Constitution, right to keep and bear arms, and arms includes defensive wear. So it's going to be us against them in a lawsuit before it ever goes to battle. And we've got enough cops out there with enough common sense to say, I'm not going to work today if that's what we're going to be doing. So they're going to have a hard time enforcing it in most of the places. I mean, your big cities that are full of a criminal element, they're only going to attack the law-abiding citizens until they're not. They're not going to go after the gang bangers because they'll get shot up. That would be bad. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not beating up on cops. I'm just saying, if you're doing it for the money and you ain't doing it for defending your country against tyranny, then you're doing it for the wrong reason. Because
That's right.
those who betray we the people, we ain't as bad as the French on stringing them up and chopping off heads, but we'll remember. I'll tell you that.
Right.
I'll remember. God's going to have the vengeance on them, but I'm going to make them. I'm going to make them run, run and hide.
Yeah, I was
I've
telling
defended my country against all enemies,
I was fixing to order those plates the other day.
foreign and domestic.
That's it. I was fixing to order those plates the other day for my rig because I was going to take it up that rifle training class. And dude, I don't think I could take that thing and wear it. For that, it's just too hot.
Oh yeah, it's going to be. But I mean, real life scenario.
I mean, real life scenario, I'd have it on.
Georgia's summertime, you're going to be sweating your butt off. Of course, as you keep losing weight, you won't be sweating as bad.
Well, true.
Yeah. I've got to get out and start walking again. My shoulder is just about, I think, about healed. I've got most of the range of motion. There's one place like right there, it's still messed up. I'm gonna start back to lifting. I've set out as long as I can stand it, and I'm still losing weight slowly, but I'm like 18 pounds from married weight. No, 16 pounds from married weight this morning. I've had to take parents and eating out all week, and it's like killed my weight loss. It's like I've just been because you go out to eat, it's like all the sodium, all the everything is horrible for you unless you go to some really healthy somewhere my parents will eat. so, so it's getting there. I'm still on task. I'm down 140. 140 pounds,
That's good, man.
and I got another 45 to go. So I checked my scale, and so if I get down to 275, I'll be at 18, 17 to 18% body fat if I keep a current muscle mass. And if I keep lifting, I'm probably going to increase my muscle mass, so maybe I'll get there sooner.
You're at
But
275 now?
no, if I get to
Oh,
275, no,
I was like, man,
another 45 pounds, I'll be able to get at 275 would be where I'd want to be at, because that would be uh, pretty low body fat for my age. It's actually really low body fat
mm-hmm.
for my age. But I'm at the point where I got all this skin wrinkles and where my belly's gone down and I got all this loose skin. It's nasty. But maybe over time, if I keep this lower carbohydrate diet, maybe they'll keep eating it up. Get down enough, and I get a lot of money. Maybe I'll go have all that extra skin cut off.
There you go.
So you gotta like shove it down in your pants. But I feel a lot better. I feel a lot stronger. Looking forward to get back in the gym. Where were we at? Oh, we're talking about red flag laws.
Yeah.
Okay. We got distracted again. We gotta quit chasing rabbits. People are gonna quit listening to us.
Actually, we've had some very good topics tonight.
Yeah, though. I guess so. I worry that we wander off too far in the woods. People are like, "What are you even talking about?"
Should have joined us from the beginning.
So you guys that are listening to the audio podcast, we do a live show. I'm assuming you know that, but we do a live show on YouTube through Jitsi. I'm doing it through OBS. So that's all the complication things we've got going on, because YouTube decided they're going to drop Hangouts, which is throwing us into the lurch to try to find something. So we're still learning, and I hope you guys can hang through this with us. So far. So red flag laws. So you got red flag laws in Georgia already, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I know there are several other states have them. I'm not aware of Kentucky having them, but I think that they already have the process by which to convene a hearing to see if someone is of mental sound judgment. And that would be the process that'd be due process. You would say, we think that you may not be, and so you would have your day in court to defend yourself and to bring witnesses or to have medical opinions or whatever. That would be the proper way to do it. And the family should probably be the one that bring that, not somebody that sees the post you've got on Facebook or on Twitter, whatever social media, on the podcast. So red flag laws would allow a doctor, a chiropractor, a dentist, clergy, somebody reads your Facebook post. I'm sure they're going to say, "Oh no, they won't do that." But yeah, they're going to have silent, what do we call those things? Quislings. The people who are going to turn you into the Stasi so they can take your guns away from you and put you in a safe place and have you evaluated. Then it's on you to have to defend yourself against an accusation
That's right.
that completely violated your Second Amendment by taking your guns without due process. Fourth Amendment by taking by not having your day in court. Fifth Amendment, your Sixth Amendment, your 14th Amendment, and pretty much your 10th Amendment to nullify any unconstitutional actions on you. I mean, you have the right to nullify illegal, unconstitutional laws. The 10th Amendment says any law not granted or any power not granted to the government is reserved by the states and the people. And if the state don't do it, the people can do it. And I'm the people. We are the people, right? So if someone passes a illegal, unconstitutional law and tries to enforce it, you can nullify it. And then you have your day in court to fight, and you have your peers, people in your community who are going to make a decision. Is this a constitutional law to be enforced upon me or upon you? Or is this a violation of your rights under the Fourth or Fifth or Sixth or what 14th Amendment, or even your Second Amendment rights, or your First Amendment rights that might that your free speech might have triggered somebody to say that you're a kook and you don't need guns because you're a safety problem, whatever.
Mhm.
So, guys, we got to fight this stuff. You need to be fighting it on social media. You need to be fighting. You need to be writing your congressman. You need to be telephone your congressman. You need to be telephoning and writing your president and your vice president and everybody that you can. I have been hammering ever since they started talking about this stupid red flag laws being a federal thing.
You're
This
right.
is totally unconstitutional. Totally. You don't have the right to take away people's stuff without due process. Due process is it precedes the Constitution. It's old English law. Due process. That you have your right to defend yourself against your accuser in a court, and you have the right to you're innocent until proven guilty. And that predates even the Constitution, but it's definitely covered in the Fourth and Fifth Amendments, and part of the Sixth Amendment, and again the 14th Amendment, and of course they don't have the right to do. I mean, the 1934 NFA Act was unconstitutional. People who allowed that to happen back in that day should be ashamed of themselves because they used a massacre of a bunch of hoodlums in Chicago killing each other with machine guns, supposedly. There's a controversy about that. As a crisis, and the solution to the crisis is we're going to slap a $200 price tag on top of your machine gun or your suppressor or your short barrel shotgun or your pistol. The original language was that your pistol would have that on there, and then in the Congress they said, "Oh, we can't do that. Everybody's got pistols, and we can't do that." So that's going too far. Of course, we know under whose administration that was. The communist president at that time here in the States, long before Obama was a communist president. But guys, you got to be on fire anytime someone starts encroaching on your rights. And your right, in this case, the red flag is the Second, Fourth, Fifth, Sixth, and 14th Amendments violation. That's totally unconstitutional. If we have the opportunity to be part of America's brief, or to be a part of I don't know if I'm saying the right words, to be a part of a lawsuit against those legislators, against people trying to pass this stuff, you need to join on. You need to be a part of that in your state, if it's a state thing, or in your federal, uh, whatever opportunity we have to shut this down. We need to shut it down. We need to be vocal about it because it's a lot harder once they have that in place to be able to talk about it.
Oh
Because
yeah.
then they're going to call you. They're going to say, "Oh well, he's a kook, man. You got to lock him up, man. He's talking about taking away the red flag law." Law where we can come take all his stuff without due process. So if you don't know the Constitution, get you a copy of it. I mean, I give them away a lot of times with my orders. I get them all the time from different places. I'll throw one of these Citizens Rule books. It's got the whole Constitution right here. It's a little video book.
Mhm.
You read the whole thing in like 20 minutes, something like that. Right there, 4,000 words, something like that total. The whole Constitution right here. I send them out with order. You order a bunch of stuff where shipping's negligible at that point. I'll usually throw one in there if I've got copies. And I've even bought copies and thrown them in as a free promo. If I've got them, I try to send them out because they don't do you good sitting in a box here.
Mhm.
Know the Constitution. Read the Constitution. Understand the Constitution. When you see a violation of the Constitution, say it. Spell it out. Explain it. I had some woman say, "Oh, why are you afraid of some kind of social media? I forget which one it was. Oh, why are you afraid of the red flag? I think it was on Instagram. Why are you afraid of red flag laws? Are you crazy? Are you gun nut and all that stuff?" I was like, "No, because it violates the Second Amendment, Fourth Amendment, Fifth Amendment, Sixth Amendment, 14th Amendment, and it's trying to bring tyranny into the United States. The whole reason for the Second Amendment is to prevent tyranny. And if you give them the right to take your guns away without firing a shot, then you're not a citizen anymore. You are a subject.
Yep.
You have lost your rights." And I've been hammering people saying, "Oh, Trump won't do that. Trump won't take your guns away." I said he's willing to look at the red flag laws.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's that's not our side. That is against the Constitution. That is a total fabricate. That's a total awful mess against the Constitution. I'm rambling here.
That's like what's his name, Dan Crenshaw, right? Crenshaw that wears the eye patch, the congressman.
Mhm. Yeah, I couldn't believe he did that.
Yeah, I messaged him after he came out with it because he came out trying to explain himself on uh, Facebook here. I don't know, a week or two ago about what he actually meant about willing to consider red flag laws. Well, he's a veteran for one, and he should know better. I mean, there's no way. That's like me and my wife were talking. My neighbor on a red flag law could say, "Oh man, I see him going in the house all the time with a gun. He's got guns everywhere, and it's just scary, and it's scaring me."
Hmm.
And he could file a complaint against me. The cops show up at my house at night and try to do a no-knock search warrant, which they do in Georgia, and somebody's go get shot, and it's
Yeah,
probably, it,
it's gonna be everybody.
it's going to be everybody.
That's
Exactly.
right. Because I tell you, come break in my door, there's a lot of armed people in this house, and they ain't gonna be no throwing your hands up in the air stuff. They'll be
We
handing
had
out some guns before it's over with.
I don't. I probably told this story before, but a friend of mine's an attorney. I have a few attorneys that are friends of mine, but one of them he's a defense attorney, and there's a drug thug up in Macon several years ago that they did a no knock search warrant on his house and kicked the front door in and went in to do a search. And it's like 2 o'clock in the morning,
Hmm.
and he started shooting like probably any of us would do
Yep.
because he thought somebody was breaking into his house. They said that they were the police, but you know, who knows? Who knows what happened? But I can understand that. I don't condone. He's a drug thug.
Hmm.
But still, they broke his front door down, back door, wherever they went in at, and he started shooting like any of us would do, and that's what's going to
Yep.
happen. Yeah, we talked about it on the show before. I think it was Maryland or Massachusetts one that just passed the red flag. They're one of the first ones to do the red flag. One of the first instances of trying to execute that. They went to this guy's house. The guy had a gun when they got to the door. When the police got to the door, they identified himself. He put the gun down. No problem. Let him in the house so they could talk. And they tell him that because of the red flag, he was targeted and they're going to take all of his guns. And he picked his gun back up and said, "No, you're not." Next thing you know, they killed him. He's dead.
Yeah. Yep. And that's what's going to happen all over the country. Either cops are going to get killed or people are going to get killed because they're trying to defend their homes. They don't know why somebody's beating their door down at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Mhm.
It's just, it's stupid. It's criminal. It's evil, and it's wrong. And you should fight that the civil way as we can do before we have to ever go do anything else. Because we're law-abiding citizens. We're going to abide constitutional laws. We're not going to abide unconstitutional edicts from a bunch of bought and paid for communists. Is the way I feel about it.
And what's
Anybody wants to suppress your rights and take your stuff. Mitch McConnell was behind this crap. Excuse me for cussing, but I'm so mad at him. He's a swamp creature. Now he says he's got 100% NRA rating. Of course, NRA rating don't mean a whole lot now because they're all bought and paid for too.
right?
So I'm really ticked off with the NRA. I'm really ticked off with our Republican so-called representatives in Senate. Rand Paul in Kentucky's still strong, but McConnell's such a deal wizard. He's trying to work some kind of deal, and he's one of those big-time government, been there too long in Washington, guys needs to go home. But we got a lot of them. We got to get guys. If y'all are any way able to run for office against these creeps. It's not easy. I've done it 2 or 3 times. Doug's done it.
Mm-hmm.
I may have to do it again. I don't know. I just don't feel like being in the public light as a as a candidate. It's just misery. What people say about you and your family and stuff like that when you run for office, especially as a Republican. But you got to fight every way you can. We got a lot of comments over. You watching them?
Uh-huh. Yeah, you got. I mean, and you do. You got. If you run for public office, you're just putting yourself out there. Which when I did it, I didn't care because it's like, say whatever you want to,
Mm-hmm.
but they say some horrible, cruel stuff at
Oh
times
yeah,
and publish it, and a lot of the elderly
yeah.
people that read that on the news or see it in the news, oh, that's gospel because the
Mm-hmm.
newspaper wouldn't lie about that,
Oh,
and they just
yeah.
they misquote you and make up stuff that wasn't true. And finally, I told one reporter, I was like, look, if you're going to misquote me, I said, just don't even ask me anything anymore because I'm not going to talk to you.
It's make up where you want to because it doesn't really matter anymore anyway.
Nah.
Because they work, they're an arm of the Democratic Party. They're not, or they're an arm of the Communist Party, you should say. Because there's Republicans out there stab you in the back just as soon as a Democrat.
Yeah,
So you just got, and I mean, Mitch McConnell, there you go. There's one of them. One of my senators. I thought he was coming around after he started buddying up with Trump on some things. And then when Trump did this, I was like, you got to be kidding me. Trump stuck us in the back along with the NRA. I'm sure he said something to the NRA. They said, oh, yeah, we'll do that. Let me go buy another $10,000 suit and we'll have a press conference together.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. Wayne, you're such a disappointment. Gun Owners of America, I'm a lifetime member there. Second Amendment Foundation, I'm a lifetime member there. Rocky Mountain, what is it? I got
So
3 or 4 other.
Elk Foundation.
Yeah, I'm an Oath Keeper lifetime member.
I'm an Oath Keeper.
If you're not an Oath Keeper and you're a retired military or LEO or first responder, I forget who all is eligible to become an Oath Keeper. I'm a, what do they call it? Affiliate? Not affiliate.
No, you're a.
Whatever they call it.
You're a.
I've been to the training.
What do they call? What do they call that? You're a.
I'm a citizen patriot.
Yeah.
But no. But I go to the meetings whenever I can. But if you don't, another thing, guys, if they ever yank this internet, you guys need comms. You need a way to talk to each other besides cell phones, because everything you say on cell phones is recorded, or can be recorded, or can be accessed. Cell phones are nothing more than two-way radios. They just operate on a different frequency,
Mm-hmm.
but they're just a two-way radio that runs on a different frequency. And I can take this one, not this one, maybe this one, and I can pick up. No, I guess it's not this one. That's the other one I've got that I'm not going to talk about. But it can pick up those frequencies, and so you can tune in. You can hear them. They have some encryption in there and things, and there's ways to get around that. So, but if you don't have comms, you need to get at least a mobile rig. I would get a mobile rig before I got a hand hockey. If you're especially out in the middle of nowhere, you get repeater towers in big areas. Like in Louisville today, there was like 30 different stations I could reach with that hand hockey. It's a 5-water. I would buy a 50-watt mobile unit and get your license. That way, you can practice on it, and you'll know how to handle it and get you a 2-meter 440. Because if things go south, we can't talk to each other because they turn our phones off, and we can't send stuff over the internet because they lock our internet down. Because Google is working with China and how to suppress communications over the internet and over the Wi-Fi and over their cell towers, and so they're going to have they call it I forgot what the terminology is, but pretty much if they want to isolate you, they can shut you down. If you can't go and yell at your neighbor or your phone don't work, you don't exist anymore. And then if something happens, they won't know what happened to you. You'll just disappear. And I'm not feeling suicidal or anything, by the way. I'm happy, and so if I turn up dead, it ain't because of me.
And you don't have
any tinfoil on. I need to put my tinfoil hat on.
And you don't have any affiliation with the Trumps, or not the Trumps, but the Clintons.
I don't have any information about Clinton's killing anybody. I'm just going to tell you right now. It's just a coincidence.
Oh yeah.
That Epstein assumed room temperature with paper sheets and suicide watch. Just a coincidence.
He just
Unfortunate sequence of events. People falling asleep, and his roommate moved out, and paper sheets all of a sudden hardened up really good, and he's able to tie himself off to something on the ceiling that doesn't exist, and those choke marks and bruises around his neck from where he got, or he claimed he was being trying to be killed a couple weeks earlier. That doesn't mean anything.
no.
That radio is the new Yaesu FT3D. It's analog, digital, 2 meter, 440. Yeah, I think you can get on 220. Yeah, you can get on 220 with it. It works with the Yaesu System Fusion. It's got GPS. It's got GMRS. It's got all kinds of doodads. And I've got my old FT2. And Steve was asking me, I don't think Steve's on here tonight, but Steve was saying, hey, what are you doing to do with the FT2? And you can take this FT2 and a couple cables and hook up to your computer and make your own little node at your house. And then you can talk all around the world from your house.
So that little fella, you got to have your
Yeah, you got FFL. And FFL. No, you don't need FFL for. You need your ham license, which the what's the first level amateur, novice? No, not novice. Man, I'm drawing a blank. I've got my general. I took technician. Technician will get you on 2 meters, 440, and a couple limited HF bands. The general lets you get onto all the bands, but just a couple. And then the extra is the top license. And I took the test once. I missed it by 2 questions, and I've been studying it. I started studying again last week, and so I'm trying to, in the next 3 weeks, get ready and take the test again. And so the extras a lot harder than I was expecting to be, because the general and the technician were easy, or I studied enough that they seemed easy. But go get your. I mean, it take you a week to get your technician license if you really applied yourself, get home from work, and sit down and listen to a thing. You can get a free app. The App Store's got like a ham. I'm looking here, see. They got all kinds of apps that you can get, but there's one. It's showing through here. This one right here. I don't know if you can see it. It's called the Extra, but they've got one for the technician. They've got one for general, and it's all the questions are on the test. And so it's like you can read through a technician license book, and it has all the questions on the test. There's like a possible 430 questions, and you have all those 430 possible questions. Your test is over 35 of them, and so the general and the technicians is the easiest one to get, and it's the least difficult to get your license for. If you get your technician license, you can operate one of these. You can talk over pretty much everything. The HF is a big step up, but if you've got friends, what you want to do is get part of a local club, so you can talk to all your friends in the local area with a mobile unit. Will reach 20, 30 miles easy in most areas. With a 50 watt rig, you can reach it quite a bit of ways. And so if you join a local ham club, then you can talk to these other hams and find out, hey, what's going on over here in this community? What's going on over in that community? And they can talk to people, 50 miles further. And if they got HF, they can talk to people across the country, across the world, right? So if you have HF, you can listen in. Nobody knows you're listening in. And when you broadcast, you're going to put a signal, but they got to have people out there that's triangulating your signal to try to find out where you're broadcasting from. So you would never, well, we can get way down that rabbit trail pretty quick. But you need comms, because guys, if they decide that they're going to put us out, I'm seeing some of these comments over here. We'll address them here in a second. But if you don't have comms, you don't have the ability to talk to anybody. Just think about it. You don't have a cell phone. You don't have internet. All you got is cable news, and you got to believe what they say.
Right.
And in a crisis situation, they're going to be even worse than they are now, because then they're going to be totally propaganda for whoever's trying to take over at that point in time. So standardize your weapons on certain calibers, get rid of exotics, and buy more ammo and get training, and get you some comms, and make sure you are all the people in your little community around you that you trust, that you're talking to them about, if something happens, can my family come to your house? If and start, hey, you want to go shooting and do some training together, stuff like that. Start building your little core community group there. And Oath Keepers has got a great program for that, by the way. You check them out, go on the Oath Keepers website, and they've got a community training program that pretty much teaches you how to build your own fire team. Of course, Paul Markle's got I forget what the name of his book is. It's probably over here on the shelf. Uh, Patriot Fire Team.
Yep.
Paul Markle's book. It's really pretty much how to do that, how to set you up a group of 4 or 5 guys, gals, people, families, and that you trust and that you can train together and you can defend each other and you can help each other out. And if things go south, I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. Maybe next year, if the election doesn't go the way the communists want. If you're in areas where there's lots of commies or wannabe commies that don't know what they're talking about, you might want to make sure. Yeah, it's a mobile ham radio. It's not a CB. You can get a CB. 11 meters. You can broadcast a certain distance, but you can't do a whole lot with them. I mean, you can do local community. It'd be better than nothing. Getting you some walkie talkies, those 33 milers, whatever they actually is just line of sight. If you can't see over the hill, then you're not going to get a signal there. So if you want to hit anybody at any range with a 5 watt, this is a 5 watt radio. If you want to hit anybody at any kind of range, you're going to need to hit a repeater. And if there's no repeaters line of sight, you're probably not going to get to talk to anybody. You're going to have to go to the high point on the hill. Whereas if you have a 50 watt rig in your truck or car or whatever, you can broadcast a lot farther, hit repeaters a lot further distance because you can reach just over the horizon. So about I think the horizon's 40 something miles. Depends on how tall your antenna is, depends on your elevation, all that stuff, line of sight. But just slightly over the curvature of the earth, you can hit people. So just think about that. If you live in West Virginia, you're not going to have an easy time broadcasting very far unless you got repeaters, unless you're on top of the mountains. But yeah, you can get a Bofang. I've got 2 of them over there. That's what I started out with. I think some of those things are banned now because you can go into certain frequencies you're not allowed to go into as a technician. So you don't want to do anything like that and broadcast on frequencies you're not allowed. AARL, American Radio Relay League, is got free resources on what channels you get onto as a technician, as opposed to a general, as opposed to extra. So those are good things to have. They do require some time and investment, but guys, skills. If you aren't building your skills, you're not growing. You need to be building your skills all the time. First thing I took on when I retired, or really not retired, said I retired. I started learning how to do reloading. So I did reloading, and then I moved on to ham, and then I moved on to reading a lot. And so I'm reading 50 to 60 books a year. Currently, I'm reading this book, 40 Things to Teach Your Children Before You Die, by Greg Jackson. That's 2 G's or 3 G's in Greg. And next on my list is Jesus, the Premise of the Promise by Stephen Quayle. And that's a big old thick book. It's going to take a little while. And then Bulwark's Alumni, we're reading Point of Impact. It's by Stephen Hunter. But if you guys remember the movie Shooter, this is the book, which is not going to be like the movie. They never are. The books are, as you can see, it's a really thick book. There's a whole lot more to it. But Bulwark's Alumni, those guys of us who have graduated Bulwarks, are reading that in September together. And I just recommended this book to my friends over at the church that I went and talked to. Yeah, you can see right through the book. Isn't it wild? Helping your church, keeping your church safe, and that was written by Ron Aguilar, and he's a security. He was a security guy at Southeast Christian in Louisville, which is a huge church. They've got several campuses, and so it's sort of the basics for church security for those guys. That's like a primer to sort of get your ears wet, and then I would probably just go with if you're looking at Sam security team, I would go with Sheepdog Church Security. They've got a really solid plan put together. It will take a lot of the homework out of it for you. Just implement and train your guys up. Yeah, Patriot Fire Team is a good book, and there's let's see, trying to think of some other books that are in my Deadly Force by E.J. Owens. He used to be on the show a lot early on. But Deadly Force is a good book. On Killing by there's a couple good books on killing. I'm looking at my bookshelf trying to see all the titles. I've got them a little bit. I think I've loaned out a couple of books. I think one of them's on killing, one of them's on war. Yeah, I'm dragging it out here. Terror at Baslan, that Russian school where they kill all those kids. Those Muslims kill all them kids. But if you're not reading and investing in yourself, reading the Bible first, reading other books and materials, don't waste your time on the boob tube. There's nothing on there but propaganda and brain control programs to get you used to being stupid, pretty much. But there's a few programs on there that might be worthy. As soon as they get popular, they stick something on there vulgar, and then you just quit watching it. All right, so where were we at? I've went way off the rails tonight. Most gun laws are rooted in racism. I mean, they didn't want the blacks to have guns back in the 1800s. If a black man had a gun, they would that was automatically death sentence pretty much for them. They couldn't defend their own families. They had the Democrats, KKK, coming in and threatening and hanging them up and stretching them up and abusing them and just terrorizing them to keep them subservient to the Democrats back in the South, after the war, and that was all the way up until the 40s, 50s, 60s, I guess. The KKK was, and then all of a sudden, Republicans brought in all these rights and try to get rid of all this state-run oppression, and Democrat state-run oppression, and now they call Republicans racist and Nazis, and
right.
The Democrats are calling us, right? Yeah, they're the party of Jim Crow, and but I really don't even consider myself a Republican anymore. I mean, I'm for a republic, which is what the United States, a constitutional republic. I'm a Christian constitutional conservative, is what I would say I am. Christian first, constitutional second, and conservative third. And that's the tiers by which I measure things and by which I vote. And there is no person in any political office that is going to look out for your best interest. That was left up to us. We, the people, are the ultimate authority in the government. And you have to quit seeing it through the paradigm that they keep trying to promote, that government makes all the rules and stuff. We, the people, decide. And if they go outside of their right or outside of the powers they were granted, be that the executive, legislative, or the judicial branches, it is our responsibility to set them on notice that, hey, you don't have the right to do that, through nullification, through the 10th Amendment. And state why they're not allowed to do that. Oh, well, it's a crisis. We have to do this because it's a crisis. Well, you crises doesn't overrule the rule of law, and we are a country of rules and laws, and those laws are for the benefit of the people, not the government. The government doesn't get to set rules against we the people to make us subservient to the government. You got to keep that in mind. You can't let them go around saying, "Oh, we're a democracy." We're not a democracy. We're a country of rules and laws. If you're a democracy, that's the same thing as anarchy. Well, it's the same thing as communism because the majority rules, right? And so you don't have rights. If the majority says, "Oh, we're going to take away your guns," you don't have rights. You're not a constitution. We're a constitutional republic. You can't say that.
Mm.
There has to be a constitutional Congress has to be put in place to change and take away our Second Amendment right. That's got to have what 35 states have to agree to come together as a constitutional Congress and vote to take away your rights, and that's just not going to happen. I mean, they could try it, but if they do that and they go against the will of the people, that's when you got AR-15, right? When they're trying to enslave you and put you in as a subject and taking away your rights to life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. If they take away your Second Amendment right, they have the right to snuff you out, dude. That's what happens in every country. You look at the 20th century, how many people the communists and socialists killed? Over 100 million. 100 million people died because they were stupid enough to allow communism to come into their country because they thought they was going to get something free.
Mm-hmm.
They thought they was going to get a better life. They got lied to. And communist people, Karl Marx and what was it? What's Goebbels? What's that other dude? The other communist guy was in, you know, pushing this stuff in the early 1900s. They're anti-Christian. One of the main things about communism is they want to wipe out Christianity, snuff it out. Any Christians, they're gone. They either recant their belief in Christ or they're gone. Preachers, teachers, they kill off anybody's got any brains, and all they got serfs left. People that they can tell what to do and point a gun at them and tell them, go do this, go do that. You don't want that kind of government. You got to fight this stuff with your mind, with your intellect, your abilities. You got to tell your friends and family what is really going on, what they're after there. So, jump here, Doug. I'm just talking off the storm here.
No, I'm
I'm running off at the mouth. You talked about diarrhea earlier.
No, you're right. I'm 100% with you on that.
So so you're still keeping your oath of that you took.
I
You became a Air Force cadet, I guess it was.
airman.
Airman, better than a seaman.
Yeah, indeed.
Little seaman joke. All right, so and you know I've not ever been sworn into office, but I take the oath to defend and uphold the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and any other patriot out there can do the same thing.
That's right.
But if you are serving or have served, you need to be an oath keeper. That you're. And I've got people that say, "Well, I like another organization." All right, like another organization, but make sure that you're being effective and you're not just running your mouth. Make sure that you're actually helping your community out. Make sure that you're taking the promise that you're not going to obey unconstitutional orders. You're not there for a job. You're there to serve the people, right? As a public servant. And so, and you know, every citizen as a part of the militia, as an able-bodied man between the ages of 18 and 65, is to be ready to defend this country and defend against enemies, foreign and domestic,
Mm-hmm.
and to uphold the Constitution. And if you got people that are in office that are attacking and trying to destroy the Constitution, you need to put them on notice that this is not acceptable. You're not there to change into a communist country. We're not a socialist communist country, and that's what a lot of the goal is. And if you don't fight it now, your children are going to fight it on the battlefield. I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm.
If you pass it off because you're lazy or you're uh, weak or afraid, what kind of legacy are you leaving to your children and your grandchildren?
Exactly.
Yeah, I just don't care anymore, man. My life is. I know where I'm going when I die, and you just gotta have that fearlessness, man. You just gotta be fearless against these people because they're ruthless. These communists, they put on sheep's clothing, but man, they're ruthless. They want to kill you. You look at these posts they put on there, these little commie thugs, how they want to kill you and destroy your family and stuff, threaten you. They don't care. They're too stupid to know anything. They think that they're going to threaten me. Come and get it, baby.
Yeah.
Come and get it. I'll feed you all day long. I hope you like lead. Maybe some brass. All right. I'm getting a little riled up. People are going to be calling the red flag laws on me. Who out there's with me? Everybody else jumped the ship. They like, I ain't being part of this. Hey, if you haven't liked us already over here if you're over here on YouTube, like us please. The more likes we get, the more followers we get, the more our videos go. I'm rambling on. You got anything, Doug? You want to wrap this thing up? Or you got more to talk about?
No, I'm good on that.
All right, we're going to move on. Of course, y'all know the Patreon's no more. We had Dan buy a bunch of patches and stickers here a while ago. Appreciate that, Dan. I think he's still over there in the comments.
Mm-hmm.
Devore, if you use a Devore link, we'll get a little bit of love. Hoplite Armor, we haven't been buying from everybody. We've been buying the AR 500 lineman. I'm sorry, but man, that's some cheap stuff. But but if you guys got more money than we got, and y'all can buy a Hoplite, it's not terribly expensive. It's good stuff. Zija, man, you guys have been buying Zija, and I appreciate it. I've been sending out samples. I know I still owe Steve a sample. I got a new shipment just come in, supposed to come in tomorrow, I think. So I'll send out some more packages. It's costing me to send them out, but several of you guys are joining and are using it and liking it. And I was on a phone call today with one of our listeners that was wanting to know some more stuff about it. So if you want to know more about Zija, you go to Guiding Guns. It's all spelled out, dot or period. MyZija, MyZija.com. And you can find out more about it. I'm not going to spend all night about it, but we've got a lot of people lost a lot of weight. Several guys have sent me some more testimonials. I'm trying to see if they'll come on the show and talk about it. Doug's losing some weight,
Yep.
and I'm still losing weight, and so we appreciate you guys looking into that. And it's not cheap, but it's good. I mean, it's good stuff. To me, when I was at my worst, they prescribed me 5 different prescriptions. And those 5 different prescriptions, even though my co-pays was $290 something a month. And Zija was $200 a month. And so I took the Zija and all that stuff went away. And I didn't have to give them 5 pills, which all those medicines have side effects. I can tell you for a fact, every medicine you take has got a side effect. And for that side effect, they got another pill for it. And for that side effect, they got another pill for that. I can tell you, my mom and dad, man, a whole case of pills. Crazy. But if you're sick, you got to do what you got to do. But I'm just saying, try it out. If you are interested, text me, call me. I think my number is over there on the Zija site. If you get in there and want to know more about it, let me know.
Yep.
You got the next one?
Let's see, what do we got? Crossbreed holsters. So you've heard Troy and I talk about them repeatedly. We love crossbreed holsters. Troy and I both carry the Super Tuck Deluxe. I like it's got the horsehide backer on it. I carry in the Founders Edition, which the leather's a little bit different, and it's a really thick holster. You can't go wrong with it. They make a holster for pretty much any way you want to carry. You think I'm kidding about the pocketbook? They got one for a pocketbook, for a pocket. They got one for the side of your bed. They got an appendix carry. They got a belly band. Pretty much any way you want to carry, Crossbreed makes a holster for it, and they got a new one that's hopefully going to be coming out here soon, according to Murray. I'm not going to say what it is yet, but maybe they'll let us announce it. But I'm excited for it. But
they just had a new one come out not long ago.
yeah, that was the free. Was it the Freedom? No,
Yeah.
I got it. I got it right up there somewhere. It's a nice one too. I mean, everything they got is high quality, nice stuff. Corey just got to view their facility a few weeks back, and they got to see where they make them. But they're just good. They're godly Christian folks over there. That's why we support them. Not only because it's a good product, but because they're faith based, and we like that. So go check them out, crossbreedholsters.com. Use our promo code GNG when you buy something, and you'll get a 10% discount just for listening to the show. And that way it lets them know that you support. Hey, if you haven't bought anything lately, hey, send them an email or something and say, hey, you heard it on God and Guns, and you just want to let them know that you use their product and you heard it through us as well.
Yep.
So go check them out, crossbreedholsters.com. Also, we got Axles and Tactical. I'm taking my Axles and Tactical. I'm taking all the night vision stuff off of it to go to this gun training class here next weekend. But I'm going to shoot it up there and we'll carry it. I haven't decided if I'm going to shoot it as my primary gun or if I'm going to use it as a backup gun. I hate to mess up my hog gun and get the sights off of it because I got it dialed in pretty good.
Yeah.
But it is a tack driving gun. I mean, just it's an awesome rifle. Troy's got one. I got one. Some of my friends have them now because they've heard us talk about them. They've actually shot mine. I'll let anybody on the range, if you want to shoot it and I'm out there with it, I'll let anybody shoot it that wants to. And when you shoot it the first time, they're like, that thing's awesome. They make custom rifles, custom pistols that they design. They take SIGs and Glocks and they turn them into the. I want that Axe 19 so bad I can't stand it, dude.
It's a good looking gun.
Yes, I want one so bad, and I may wind up getting me one. But they do their custom gun work to it, and it's just beautiful stuff, man. They also have Axelson has a storefront now where you can buy pretty much any kind of gun that you want through them, and they run good deals on it. If they're not running a promo code, you can use our promo code God and Guns, get 10% discount when you check out for listening to the show. But they got some really good deals out there. Go check our buddies out, axelsonusa.com.
Good deals. I've got the rest here if I can find my notes again. All right. So, Antirius Alliance. If you have not heard of Antirius Alliance, check those guys out at AntiriusAlliance.com. We are life members, been with them since the beginning. I think I'm like number 21, something like that. And check them out. I put a link in here for Russ Bianchi's things to stay away from. It pretty much is eat like your great grandparents did back in the early 1900s, late 1800s, before all this processed food came out, and includes deodorants and things like that. So any kind of toxic things to your body causes you to retain weight because your body doesn't know what to do with these chemicals, so it binds them in fat and stores it.
You still with me? Uh-oh. We might have lost Troy. I don't know if not sure, guys. Can you guys still hear me talking? Hey, so I think we're still broadcasting. Not sure it shows that we're live. We just dropped Troy for some reason. He got on a bandwagon a while ago and they lost him. Actually, I don't know if you guys can see me or not. Oh, is he coming back? I don't know what happened to him. So I can't tell if our YouTube has cut too. Oh, Dan says he hears me. Oh, there comes Troy. Are you coming back?
I'm trying.
There you are.
It did it to me last week.
It did.
I'm getting tired of this garbage.
Why can't stuff just work?
I don't know. It's communist. Let's see. I'm still live on.
Yeah, you're still there.
I mean, my OBS, whatever it is. Yeah, OBS is still live. So let me see if I can switch my window here.
Dan
Guess we better wrap this thing up.
Yeah, yeah, we probably should. Let's see.
Wrap it up.
Yeah.
All right, so NRA armed citizen.
NRA Armed Citizens kind of reminds me of your Dollar General store story. This one comes to us from Virginia Beach, Virginia. A 7-Eleven customer shot two people who were allegedly trying to rob a Virginia Beach convenience store early Thursday morning, killing one of them and injuring the other, according to witnesses and police. The store is located at the 100 block of South Newtown Road. The suspect who survived was taken to the hospital for treatment. Police didn't immediately identify the person, and the severity of the injuries weren't known. WTKR or TK WTKR spoke with a couple of the stores at the time of the shooting just before 2:30 a.m. They said that the man is a hero. Police confirmed the man who opened fire had a concealed carry permit on him, and that the suspects were armed when they entered the 7-Eleven. Early that night, there were 3 armed robberies that police believe are connected. At 2:28 a.m., one armed robbery was committed at the 7-Eleven. They were tearing 7-Elevens up that night, boy. Robbery was committed at the 7-Eleven located at 1010 Pacific Avenue. According to police, during the robbery, 3 armed men entered the store and robbed the store of cigarettes and smoking devices. Around 1 a.m., police responded to a 7-Eleven located at 3235 Chesapeake Boulevard for a commercial robbery. Where police arrived, the clerk advised them that three men entered the store armed with guns. The men demanded money, and the clerk complied. There were no injuries reported. Around 2 a.m., police responded to a 7-Eleven located at 6667 East Virginia Beach Boulevard for commercial robbery. When police arrived, the clerk advised them that 2 men had entered the store.
Live streaming is on.
Well, we're streaming now.
Yes, again. I don't know what's going on. We're going to wrap this thing up quickly.
We're streaming. Oh, we got video now, too.
All right, we're back.
Looks like we are back. So
you're back. I'm not back yet, but
let's see. Where was I at? So finish up the NRA armed citizen. Newport News police also believe that the 7-Eleven robbery at 10:54 p.m. May be connected to the robberies in Norfolk and Virginia Beach. The robberies occurred at 10:54, and the clerk told police that 3 unknown men entered the business and took an undisclosed amount of cash and tobacco products after one of the men brandished a firearm. No one was injured in the Newport News robbery. This is the second deadly shooting at a 7-Eleven in Hampton Roads in the last 2 weeks. A 17-year-old Hampton boy was killed in a shooting at a 7-Eleven convenience store on July the 12th. So, hey, a good guy with a gun prevailed.
Yep. We're going to wrap this sucker up because it's going to do it again, I think. We're going to find another platform. I don't think this is going to work for us. What do you think?
It doesn't seem like it.
But we can talk this stuff afterwards. All right, yep. So wrap it up. Send your feedback to Troy at GodandGunsPodcast.com or
Doug at GodandGunsPodcast.com.
Please leave us an iTunes review. Like us on Facebook at Facebook.com/GodandGunsPodcast. Subscribe and follow us on YouTube, please. And follow us on Twitter if you want to hear me rant and rave. Instagram, too. MeWe. It's a fail-safe. If something happens everywhere else, we might be at MeWe if they allow us to be there. I think I picked up another app. Parlor. I was on there as a backup too, sort of as a fail-safe, sort of like Twitter, but supposed to not be as abusive. Website is useless, but remember GodandGunsPodcast.com in case you can't find us anywhere else. We'll try to revive that thing, get it working again.
Yep.
So until next time, Doug, have a blessed week.
And keep your guns close, but keep your Bible closer.
Good night, guys. Thanks for hanging in there with us. Whoever's left, I think
Brian's here with us still.
Hey, Brian, thanks a lot for hanging out with us, and we appreciate all you guys enduring our foibles and
it's a learning process.
Ignorance and the evils of the internet. Good night, guys. We're going to shut this puppy down.
Good night, everybody.
Let's see. I gotta stop here. Stop streaming. And then I gotta stop over